sweet Catherine.
Hello, and welcome to video 2. This video goes how I'm wanting to do. In this video, we're going to discuss style beads. So I can show you when you're starting out using your old shape bead. These are a very basic size that you'll that you'll find pretty much anywhere. I got these. They're all cleaned, which oddly enough match I find helpful when I find a design and figure out what I want to do is take my graph paper. I make fingernails, which are of course I use like letters, but there's numbers and symbols and stuff, and then I write down the colors that I'm using. It's called the Superstore, and that helps when I'm doing the pattern. You can look. I make videos for your Aunt Catherine. Real quick, we're going to be working on this loom because I imagine this is the loom. You want to say hey? You want to boop your head down? There you go. It's called the Superstore, and Sue is spelled like Sioux Indian. I don't know if that was one. Do you see how this one? I've never seen a bead that color. Look, it perfectly matches my fingernails. As you can't see, but I have some front spaces to where stars that's as wide as you can make your bracelet. Which I mean, that's a pretty wide bracelet. I'm not good at aiming at the camera. Also, the light is super bright. But I try to give them my business because I feel for the natives. I do have one, but somewhere, and they make really amazing things, really beautiful things. But okay, so style of bead, I highly recommend if you do start getting like serious and you want very uniform patterns. I feel like I've already discussed this with you. Just different tapestries, some of the stuff that's going off. This one, I highly recommend. This one's flat, so my working Delica this whole time, which can be a little hard because they're all the exact same shape, as you can see, and you will find that some might be a little bit bigger to where you'll be looking this way, like one style kind of out instead of. For some reason, my dark gray are a little bit bigger than all the rest of them. I can't figure out why. They're all size 11, so why the fuck? I don't know. So must be how they were cut. But yeah, I really enjoy working with these. I recommend not buying beads locally, probably there, unless you are near a reservation. You probably get good deals on beads there. I shop at jewelrywarehouse.com. Alright. That's where I buy all my beads. I don't know if they ship to Canada, but if they do, I highly recommend getting all your stuff. Every little spot here is a spot where you can put a string. And then you tie them all back here, like on the top. These and you bring them down here, and then you tie them, go under, and you tie them for one here, little vial. And this can spin 3 vials, then it goes down to like $1.08. But yeah, I'm like really the more you buy, the more you save. And they're really cool, and they're fast, and they're good, and I haven't had any issues with them. So, one thing I recommend. Am I still videoing? I think that has covered. One thing I recommend everything so is silk thread. Over, so we're gonna start because of how thin but extremely durable it is. The front, it will break, obviously, but the tension that you can put on it before it'll break is pretty outstanding. So, tip number 1. I know I already showed you the needle, the one that spreads apart. Flip it around to the back. I've got some of those coming in the mail. I finally found some more. Really tight. But for my bigger loom, I have this because it's easier to. Once you have the lines you can see by it's easier to tie it. My face, it's a very long needle, but they're very fragile. You can tell by the way it shakes. But if the eye is collapsible, so it'll go through the smallest of beads. So But if you do use these, the ones that can pull completely apart, which I highly recommend. This is the one that get misshapen, so she wants a tutorial. I reshape mine all the time, but I do recommend picking up pull hers out and look at it and see. I also recommend. I got these on accident. They're called beading needles, but the eye is not collapsible, and it does not go through my smaller beads. So I don't really get the point of it, but it is one of the harder ones. It won't bend. So I use this to separate my lines when I'm beading my loom. So if you have a harder needle, it's good to have one of those around. Video 3 coming a little bit. Back. One of the coolest things, you can get this from a dollar store. If not the dollar store there, because dolls might be different. You can get it from Walmart, generally for $1, maybe $2, maybe $3 or $4 in Canada. I don't know. Obviously, sorry, my hair keeps going in the mouth. Have one side. You don't have to do that. And I actually do use this for paint as well. So that's why there's like some dirty spots on it. I swear it's not gross. It's just old paint that I haven't been able to scrub out. But I recommend getting one of these. Well, you turn it down to the low to keep your beads separated because that's the high. Hold on, I'm trying to. Yeah, it's warm up there. The light is so whitewashing. And then flip it over to the other side. It's still pretty damn bright. Yeah, but wow, this is a horrible video. I'm sorry. Yeah, I know. So. Paint palette that doesn't matter helps you. It's I use these because I have some packs of beads that are multicolored because I'll get them on sale in places, and they'll be like multicolored packs, and I don't know why I don't get that. So I will use the big spots to separate them. And so I'm using a lot orange out of this pack. Thanks, and then since I went ahead and separated the yellow, I put that in there. Oh, you should have seen how long it took me. Yes. Like piece ago. Okay. So I have the tied and hooking behind is aim this down. This one that's on the bottom. We are looking straight and down. I don't know if you can do that. Alright, so I got my 8. This is a 7 camera beaded design, so I can move it on 8 strings. Tie them together at one end. That way I can hook it. Take a stiff needle, separate them, and you have to pull. You have to keep these pulled tight because you're not going to tie them off until you get everything situated. So keep these pulled tight. This part, and I use this here. I put the knot under to separate. That way I can pull it tense over the side. Oh, whoops! So I always have that pre-done. I make the lines way longer than the bracelet's going to be, and I don't really 100% know why. I don't think you have to, but I do. I'm a weirdo. Your line that you're going to be beading with needs to be super long, or else you're going to have to add line in, and that doesn't always look. Sometimes you have to really great. You can retighten your grip on. At least I do, because I haven't been able to figure out a way to. Is this the one that goes all the way? Oh yeah, no, this is the one. Okay, so this is the one. This is as wide as you can make it on this limb. It looks way more slender because you'll pull the lines together. As I'm getting tangled at the bottom as well. But, so that's as wide as you can make. You can make it as long as you want to because you can spin. Once you go down, you can spin it up and over this. And you can keep going down. That's how I made Pete's hat band. And just separated right down at the bottom. That was nice. Alright, I also recommend having some scotch tape because once you put the lines where they're supposed to be, they don't always stay as tense as you want. After you're working on them for a while, they get pulled up a little bit. So if you put this down over the lines across the bars, which you'll see, it'll help hold the lines down to where they won't pick up and move over into another slot.
I imagine a lot of people have different ways that they.
So I'm going to make that video one because these take forever to upload to YouTube, and that's what I'm doing. Uploading
because it is self-line.
Putting these on YouTube, and I'm just going to send you the links for them.
Yes.
All right. So, video 2.
Once it gets to this point.
Right now.
So I will wrap it around. And pull it tight. And then I'll wrap it around one more time. And then what I do, because I'm a weirdo, I've tried so many different ways to tie this in a way that is easy to untie, I guess, and also doesn't mess with the tension that I have right here. So far, I haven't really found one that works all that great. So I tie it just up here at the top. Actually, how am I going to tie it this time? I try different things because nothing really works all that great because I'm not great at tying knots tightly, but also to where you can untie it and it's where you can untie it easily so that you can move it if you need to. Yeah, it's kind of a pain in the ass. This part. This is the worst part. Setting it up is the absolute worst part. What are we going to do? You know what? I think I am just going to boom. See, already. It's pissing me off. Alright, and I'm going to pull that through there. And boom. That actually might work pretty good because this is a thinner bracelet. So there we go. It is set up here. So now we're going to set up your needle. Where did I put the line separator needle? Uh-oh. Where the heck did I put that? Oh, good gracious. Alright, well, hopefully I will find that knot with my foot. I'm sure it's here somewhere. Alright. Now, you've got your super long beading string. If you're using this kind of needle that pulls completely apart like that, sometimes it's a pain in the ass to get your fingernail in between it to get it apart. But once you do, you just stick your thread right through there. It's also nice on the eyes. Because it's a very long string, I will pull this through a good long ways. Right, and then I keep a cloth on my work table. That way I can just stick my needle right into it when I'm not working with it. And it also, I just ripped it out. It also helps when beads go flying, because this has a better time of holding onto it than when I don't have it on there and it's just the hard surface. Alright, so then you take your end that is not attached to the needle. This is also up for debate. You may do it differently. You might want to watch some YouTube videos to see how they do it. But I tie my string onto the end. I do one regular tie. Please forgive my fingers because they don't always do what my brain tells them to. Come on. So one regular knot. Boom. We're just going to do a rectangle. If you're doing a bracelet that you want to like angle, go to a point, then you'll want to leave a lot more on the tail end, because you will end up pulling the bracelet down and going and doing this. I actually haven't even tried doing it yet because it intimidates me. So I guess that actually works pretty good. You may not actually need to do a double knot, but I actually want to do it because I just like everything to be super. So for this one, I go under once, and then I go under twice. I can't remember what it's called, like a fisherman's knot or something. Go down really slow, or else it'll get twisted up as it's going down, and then it like makes the knot go out, like it stick out to the side, and it's weird. But that makes a nice little tidy whitey knot. Alright. I generally don't cut anything until I'm done, just because I like to fortify this knot before I cut anything off. And I don't like sticking glue on anything until I'm done. Alright, so now I'll take, you can use regular Scotch tape. It doesn't have to be super sticky, and it won't like stick down completely, but this is really just to make sure those lines don't pop up. This is also not something that everybody does, but I've seen more people do it than not, so must not be crazy. Alright. Now you take your bead end, boom, 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 or your needle end, and bring my beads over. I'm going to sit this over. I'm going to move over a little bit. Alright, yeah, I've got my pattern right here. This will be my first bead I put on the needle, and then I work my way up this way. And my first color is gray. Oh, another good thing about doing the patterns on here is that you can reuse them, and if you just write the colors that you're using right above here and don't make anything permanent down here, then you can go back later and just add a different set of colors on top, and you can assign each number and symbol to a different color. So I had a whole book of these, and when we moved here I cannot find it, so I had a bunch of, like the pattern that I did for your bracelet, I had that in there, and I can't find them, so it's nice. But here we go. Alright, over this way. No, not to me. Well, that's not nice either. Alright. What are we doing here? Alright. Okay. So I try to push this not all the way up, because once you get the beads on there, you're going to pull it, and it's not going to pull where you want it to if the knot is all the way up here, and you try to put your first line of beads all the way at the top. It's just not going to work out. So I go to my pattern and I start putting my beads on. Got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blue. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then another gray. Get on there. Alright, so once you got your beads on there, pull them down, pull them down, pull them down, pull them down. You are going to go under, take your whole string under. Oh, what are you guys doing down here? Make sure all your beads come with you. Alright. The first couple of lines can be kind of a pain in the ass. I wish I had my bead separating needle. What happened to it? I don't understand. Where could it be gone? Alright, so there's not that many beads. If you have this whole thing full of lines, you're definitely going to want something to help you space these beads out to where they're supposed to be set. So you're going to want to make sure everyone has its own little lane, like race cars. Oh, and sometimes this first lane assignment can be a pain in the ass. Like now. Once you get them in there, you push them up. That way they don't pull out of their lane. And you grab your needle and you're going to go over. So you went under to bring the beads where they're supposed to be, and then you're going to go over these lines and back through the beads. And you are going to want to make sure you take your needle over every single line as you go across. And you pull, and you pull some more. And then, why is that doing that? Alright. There we go. So you got your first line. On there. I wish this was better video. And it will loosen up a little bit, but once you get the second line on there, dang it, it'll pull it back tight again. So that's why I said you want to bring it down a little bit from the bottom, or from the very top. That way you can pull these lines together with the beads. If you put them up here, it's harder to pull them together and make them stay together. Nope, what are you doing? Alright. So now we're going to go to our next line. And that is a green, gray, 3 blues, right? Yeah. And a gray and a green. Alright. You are going to go under. I like to try to hold on to the beads because a lot of time, like right now, silk line will try to snag up on you. It is very easy to do. So I like to try to hold them in front of my fingers and guide the line. And then get them in their perspective lanes. It does get a little bit easier as you go. With Miyuki Delica beads, they are, they've got, there's no way I'm going to be able to show you with this. They have like edges, no. No. They have like very severe edges, so you have to like push them up or push the line through them with your fingers. But the rounded beads are a lot easier to go up through the lines. But again, like I said, I just prefer using the Miyuki because they're so uniform. So now that I've got them where they're supposed to be, I take my needle back over, and you want to make sure that you pushed all those beads up through the line and that the needle goes over every single line, because if one of them, if it falls, the line falls under the needle as it's going back across, it will screw it up as you're pulling it tight. Alright. Should have put the green right next to the blue because it's not a very big color difference. Alright. Well, too late now. Right, green, green, gray. Alright, well, if you're going to be misshapen that way. That way the bead stays on. I can't wait till my new needles get here. 1, 2. Some people use green, green, gray, blue, gray. Some people use, if you're doing, it doesn't really apply to this kind of beading, but some people use these spinners. You put the beads in. I don't know how it works. I really don't. I would love to know. But you put a bunch of beads in, and you just like stick your needle in, and the beads just fill it up. I don't understand how it works. I really don't. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. You go under. Stop it. Get them to their homes. And once you get it really to this point, they pretty much just fall exactly where they're supposed to go. Once you get them under there and you push them up, they just The only thing you have to look for is to make sure you're getting that needle above the lines. Above. I say that and I emphasize it because it's happened to me so many times. Also, what happens to me so many times? Fucking up one bead. One bead. One bead on the whole thing. It's very frustrating. I'm gonna go until I get to the next color because I want you to see the pattern like starting to take shape. Alright, and then we're gonna go 3 green, gray, be more annoying. 1, 2, 3, thank you. 1, get on there. And 1, 2. This is generally easier to do with darker colored beads. It's a little hard to do with the lighter colors with turning the light down. Usually I have the light up full blast so I can see because I'm half blind. Alright. Pull and spread them into their spots. Sometimes they get disrespectful. You gotta manhandle them a little bit. You get your wife beater on. Show them what's up. I'm just fucking around. But there we go. It's a good thing nobody watches my videos. Somebody would see that and I'd get canceled. I'm really just fucking around. Obviously, I don't beat my wife. Okay, there's like a dog fur or something that's on here and it's... Or is it part... Oh, that might be part of the string. Alright, well, I'm going to leave that alone for right now. Okay, so we've got the first little triangle, but like I said, I'm going to go to the next color because the blue and the gray don't really contrast against each other really well. So we are going to move on to the orange. So now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to start with a gray. And then, green. I'm sorry if this is painful to watch. I promise I'm just going to go to the next color and then I really think that you'll have it and you won't need to see me do anymore. You're brilliant. You probably already have it. And you may have already stopped watching. And I completely understand. Because I don't really talk a lot while I do this. Because it's hard for me to talk and concentrate on what I'm doing at the same time. I'm sorry. Alright, here we go. We are going to be starting... Wait, what now? Because that was blue. Oh, and then the orange comes in. Okay, done. Alright. Also, had an extensive talk with Dave before I sat down to make this video for you. Don't judge me, woman. Alright. Now we get to the orange. Orange and gray. And then green and green. And green. Yep. Every now and then in these batches you will find when you're putting your beads on your needle, you'll find one that may be broken. You'll always want to take that off because it'll make your whole shit look fucked up. And you don't want your shit to be fucked up after you put this much energy into it. Trust me. I know. That bead haunts me. That purple bead right there that's supposed to be white. And so that white bead is not supposed to be there either. Well, there you go. Alright, so got my beads on there going under. Like I said, I get most of my patterns from pictures online. I either look up bead loom patterns free, or I just look up bead loom patterns, and people will be selling them, but they'll show you the whole picture, so sorry. I just blow it up and make my little graph paper thingy, and I'm good to go. Most of them don't charge much for the bead loom patterns, but it's like, no, I'm sorry. I'm not rolling like that. Alright, and then 2 orange, gray. 2 orange, gray. 1 green. Gray. 2 orange. Come on. Nope, not 3, just 2. Okay, go under. And you can use whatever colors you want. I was really just looking for like something springy. So we've lived here for, what, over 3 years now. And we cut down this one bush in the front yard that was up against the house, and it was like pushing into the siding. So we cut it down. And this year, for the first time, some bulbs popped up right beside the bush carcass. And they were daffodils, which just made my day because they're my favorite spring flower. And it made me think about planting daffodils, but it takes them like 2 years to grow, and I don't really want to be in this house for another 2 years. I mean, we probably will, but I don't know. We got that center that opened up in Greenville, and well, I say center, but it's a hub. Everybody's still working from home. But that really has piqued my interest. Much to Pete's chagrin. I feel like the cost of living there should be comparable, but I don't know. Alright. I do hold the the work as I'm pulling. And you want to, when you get to the end, you want to pull it kind of taut, but you don't want to pull it extremely tight, because then you lead to the possibility of the string breaking later on, and you don't want that to happen. You don't want there to be an extreme amount of tension. You want it to be nice and uniform in shape, but you just don't want to, basically manhandle it. Alright. So, I like the thought that you're watching this whole video. I'm gonna believe that you are. So, got that one. Yeah, alright, so we'll stop right there, because this is already 30 minutes long, and I'll show you how the pattern's coming. Blue to the green to the orange. I really wish this video was better. I'm sorry. This video sucks. But I hope it was helpful. Can't even really see the color that well. I will take a picture as soon as it's done and show you the end result. There's also ways you can, after the work is done, you can add like embellishments that fall off the end and are kind of like tassels. I don't know, it looks really cool. But I am not that. That's still stuff that I would be playing around with. But so, I hope you have found this tutorial entertaining and informative. And I think I have shown you all that I can show you right now. If you ever want to get into other beading, like I super enjoy making stretch bracelets. The majority of my bracelets that I make are stretch bracelets with like medium-sized beads, a lot of rocks. Yeah, I don't have any real good rocks right now. I'll have to resupply on those. That kind of, and I might not, because I said once I'm done with all of that stuff, I was gonna not buy it anymore, and really kind of stick to beading. I want to like make a little purse and stuff. I don't know. No, you know what? I'm gonna want to make another video once I get to the end of this. So I will. Once I get to the end and I'm ready to end it, I will make another video to show you how I do that as well. It is recommended. A lot of people use E400 or E6000 or whatever it's called. If you want to use that, that's fine. I like Gorilla Glue products, so I use Gorilla Glue. But you will want to get a, I have one that's open somewhere, but you will want to get a super glue, or a jewelry glue, or a jewelry epoxy. It's not going to poke it right now, is it? No. Yes, I use Gorilla Super Glue because once you finish the bracelet, you will use this. Some people put it on the end of the bracelet, and when they put the end cap on, they'll put a drop in the end cap. I don't like doing that because I'm not able to get it on fast enough, and it always like fuses to the side of the bracelet, and that's not very fucking helpful. So I will do the lines right at the end, and then I will slide this over, and then once it's on, I will
put a little drop, and it will like work its way down in there before I close the end of the cap. But I will show you all of that when I get to the end of this. And then when I get my new loom set up for something, I will show you what that looks like. I'm excited to use it. It was only $40 from fucking Ukraine. And I feel like she makes them. It was completely unassembled. Pete had to assemble it. I say we. I couldn't figure out how the hell. I could figure out most of it. There were these round ones. Oh, see, I don't even know where they are. This right here. These round ones. I couldn't figure out where they went, but he was able to figure that out. But the only thing that annoyed me was the tape that held these together. Look at this stupid residue. And I don't want to put glue gun on it. So I think I'm going to throw some stickers over it or something. I have some right here to throw on it. Alright. So I will end this video. I love you. God bless you. And I will make you another video. I will go ahead and upload these. And I will make you another video once I am near the end. Actually, I'm going to wait to upload these until I'm done. I may just splice them all together and make one video and then send it all in, upload it, and send it all at once. Alright. Well, good morning. Actually, it's afternoon. I did not... Well, I have been working on the bracelet, but I have not made a video this morning, so I'm making one this afternoon. I was kind of hoping I would run into like a issue that I could make a little like, hey, when you run into this problem, you know, blah blah blah, fix it this way. But I haven't, because it's a really simple pattern, so it's kind of really hard to mess up. So, but I did want to. I'm at the point where I got to thinking about measurement, which I never talked about. Measuring is very important. I used to have one of those like sewing tape measures, one of the ones that are very flimsy and you can wrap it around your waist and stuff, but I don't know what happened to it. So if you don't have one, a really good way to measure your wrist is by taking a string, which I just so happen to have a spare one right here. Taking one end, holding it, wrap it around your wrist, pull it to the end, and depending on whether you want it make sure you have it at the end of the string in this finger, and depending on whether you want it like tight or a little bit loose, which if you wear multiple bracelets like I do, I generally like mine loose, that way I can fit other bracelets on my wrist. Get back there. So you get it where you want it. I like mine right around there. Cut it. After you cut it, wrap it around one more time just to make sure that you don't need to trim it at all, which it looks like I do. Yep, no, I'm not going to be able to see it. So I can see that it's overlapping a little too much, so I'm just going to snip a tiny piece off. And then you can use a regular old ruler, which I have this one because it's got the grippy thing. And you measure it on the inch side. Mine measures just as I thought exactly, 7.5 inches. So that's generally, you can keep this around just in case you don't remember right off the top of your head.
But you can use this to judge how long you want your bracelet. However, you don't want the beaded part to be the full size of your wrist, because you're going to have to add... Oh no, I don't have my completed one. You're going to have to add these onto the end. If this is what you want to use to end your bracelet with, I highly suggest it, because it's the easiest thing. The other finished bracelets that I have don't look this nice at all. Finishing bracelets is definitely one of my banes. It's very hard for me. It's been a struggle, but I'm glad I found these, because it has made it a lot nicer, and I'm glad I finally figured out what to do with the strings that go across the loom, because if you leave them open, your beads are going to fall off. But tying them together just looks trashy, and that's another good thing about these, because you do end up needing to tie them together at least to keep them secured, but this hides all of that. So but not only will you need to, so like this one, as you can see, there's room, because you're going to add your, dang it, I really wish I had the one that was finished here. And also, where are my, there they are. You're going to add your jump rings, which are the little rings that you can pull apart and then stick them back together, little circles, and whatever clasp you want to use to finish it. I have sterling silver clasps, but they're very expensive, so I'm actually saving that for a necklace that I'm going to be making out of it's natural opal and onyx, but it was put together by a dude to where the onyx is on the top and the bottom. I think I've shown it to you before, and the opal's in the middle, and it really makes the opal stand out. So I have my little sterling silver jump rings and clasps in there. I think I have my clasps in there, and all my sterling silver. I have all of my wrapping wire in there, but all my sterling silver wire that I got to wrap that. But yeah, so you'll want to leave a little bit of room. You won't want to go the full 7.5 inches, or I'm sure yours is probably around 6 inches. Most people have really tiny wrists, I have found. That way you have a little extra room to put your enders on. Hey, Bubba. Alright, so that's what I wanted to talk about, and also I'm come to a place where it's kind of hard for me to work in this little tiny bit of room that's on the bottom, so I want to move it up on the loom so that I have a little bit more room. So I wanted to show that to you. Alright, which is kind of a pain in the ass how I have it wrapped at the bottom. I mean, not really, because it's easy to pull apart. But you want to loosen that up. And the great thing about having the tape on there is that even when you loosen them up, the tape holds them in their respective places. So you don't have to worry about your lines jumping. Actually, at this point in the bracelet, you don't really have to worry about that anyway. What is happening? Okay, there we go. Alright. So, I've got the end loose. And I am going to loosen this little... you can take that tape off now, the top one, because you don't really need it. Loosen that, and I'm going to just screw, get it to where I've got a lot more room to work in the loom part, and then tighten that guy back up so that doesn't move. And then you're going to it's a little hard on my hands. My
fingers get very numb, and then when I make them do things, they start to feel like fiery needles poking through my fingertips. So I have to give them a minute to come back. Which definitely makes me feel super young. Also, the AARP letters I'm getting in the mail don't help me feel youthful at all. But I feel like I've always been kind of an old lady at heart. So, I guess it's fitting that I'm getting AARP letters. Oh no! Ugh. I guess I should have put my... Alright, let's do this again. One. Put my finger on it. Okay, round 2. Aha! Saved it that time. Biatch! I'll bring it up here. This is always such a struggle. I imagine that's hilarious to watch. Sometimes I do stick my tongue out. Alright. Let's try to get that as tight as we can. Boom, boom. Alright, and now you have a lot more line to work with. And you generally don't have to move your bottom one at all. You have to untie it sometimes to give the line looseness so that you can pull it up. But yeah, you can move this up over, and you don't have to worry about having that tape on there anymore. But I do keep this one just to keep these lines where they're supposed to be. Right, and then as soon as I'm done, which will be very soon, I'll show you how I finished off. Alright, here we go. I actually didn't need as much more space as I thought I would. Actually, how big is it?
Seriously, in the 80s they shot one of those shark movies right here in town, The Deepening 3.
Oh yeah, in 3D.
Right,
Yeah, do a little bit more.
Alright. So I added a little bit more on to give it a little bit more length. And now...
Yeah, it's where the wonderful world of books and periodicals.
Yeah.
And microfiche.
Wish there was a way I could zoom in a little bit, but it is what it is. Alright, so to finish it, so you've got your last line done. What do you do now? I've seen different people finish their work in different ways. I've got my end pieces that I need. You'll want to get, like I said, a clasp and some jump rings and some little ender pieces. You can get them in sterling silver, but they are very expensive that way. And I don't mind these because they don't really sit against your skin too much. My skin doesn't really do well with fake metals, but these haven't bothered me so far. But they do make them in sterling silver and 18 karat gold, if you are willing to pay that, which I am not. So, there we go. Take your needle, and I come in.
Everybody listen, calm down.
You calm down. I lost a son.
Seriously?
A son who was beautiful.
Listen, we're gonna solve this.
Yeah,
all my safety concerns. What? No, I said it might be cool to get a mechanical shark, but I didn't turn it loose.
This is not going to work. Alright, well, I'm just going to try to see if I could set it up on the actual loom to where you can see it up close. But I come in I come in to the end.
Teddy, what are you doing? I'm trying to get everyone's attention, but I don't have any nails. Okay, so what do you want to say? I have something to say.
To above the last bead on the inside of the string. Bring it till it comes to a loop, and then I run the needle through that loop. And I pull. Boom. This isn't the final close. I just like to do that to give it a little extra stability. So then you take your needle and you go up through the line before the last. You go up through the top of the beads, but you don't go all the way across. Go like 4 or 5 beads and then come out.
Okay, we got 4 good ideas. Well, 4 Hail Marys we can try.
Let's stop the shark! Let's stop the shark!
And then you go to the 4th bead, or no, I went to the 5th. So you go under, under the 5th bead, next line over, and you go back across. Is that the next one over? Yeah. Boom, boom. And then you go up the next, and you go through, you can go through like 4 this time.
Okay, now the shark is electrified! All you're doing is making the shark more dangerous, Bob. I can say that, Hugo! Well, the shark's getting
And then,
to a restaurant.
It's alright, we've saved the best idea for last.
yeah. And then through. And this is one way that Mayuki beads are also easier to work with because of their rounded, like almost barrel shape. You can push them up on the line and you have more room to get back through with the needle once the work is done. They really are just the easiest beads I've found to work with so far. And then, one more time, last time, go through like, I'll probably go through like 5 again this time. Get in there.
Wait, what are we talking about again? Maybe I'm not such a horrible, greasy, perverted, shabby, two-bit.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then you pull it through, pull it through, pull it through. And then you can use regular scissors, but they're so bulky on the ends that it's hard to snip. So bulky on the ends, it's hard to snip fine wire. So I like these guys. They are tiny little sharp snips. You can buy them in packs with the needle nose pliers and everything, which you will also need for the jump rings. And then you come through and you just snippity snip. And that end is done. So you can go ahead and cut that.
You want to come, Hugo? Feel quiet all of a sudden. Quiet as a morgue.
Morgues aren't all that quiet, actually.
Maybe it finally ran out of gas.
We could come back tomorrow.
No! We gotta make sure it's dead. And then we gotta cut it up in little pieces so it never hurts anyone again.
Whoa, Teddy, calm down.
Right.
What happened to that shark anyway?
Sorry, Bob. You see, it's personal between me and
Go
the
ahead
shark.
and move these over a little bit.
Working on that movie.
You probably will bring this back into play once you're gluing your ends after you've tied them together. That way you can kind of drape it. How did I do it last time? This way. You can drape it that way that the glued ends don't touch anything. This one will hang off the edge and this one will hang. The only thing is to make sure you're only putting a very small amount of, what the crap? Super glue. I didn't even open this one. Is this the one that's open?
Over here, I'm Mort's belly. Huh? What? We're not doing that anymore? What's going on in there?
Oh, I guess that does open it. Alright, well that's open now. So I've got two that are open. That's a good time. And it got all over my... That sucks. How the hell did that happen? Alright, well, that's fun. Okay, so what we're gonna do now... Just cut that off. And I'm actually going to take a little break because my fingers are a little numb right now and I need them to be very present for what I have to do because we have to tie these little lines together next, and that is a little bit of a pain in the butt, but look at that! Bing bang boom! Well, I actually didn't make that as long as I thought I did. I got a little overzealous. But I will make this a small one for somebody with a tiny wrist. And I will be right back. Well, hello, my wonderful and beautiful bestest friend. Alright, so we are done with our little beaded project. What do we do now? Alright, so we're going to clear our workspace because this part is annoying. Almost as annoying as being, or setting up. Okay. Almost as annoying, I'm having a hot flash, I'm sorry, as setting the loom up, but not quite. Gosh, why am I so hot? Get some air in here. All right. I knocked over my, that air feels good. Alright, so, while I sweat in front of you. Alright. That should be a good, yeah, it's a good spot. Alright, so, we're going to do the shorter side first because it's probably going to annoy me the most. So, you take your first two. You're going to separate your strings into twos. You're going to take your first two strings and you are going to make a regular knot. And again, you want to do it slow. Regular knot. And then, you can't really, let me go down a little bit more. There we go. And then you're going to do I think it's called a captain's knot, where you go under one time, and then you go under a second time. Did it go through a second time? Yes. Get down, kitty. Psst, psst, psst. Get. Psst. Get down. Okay. And I can see that it did go under the second time. So you will slowly pull that down until it gets all the way down to the bottom. So, first one done. And a lot of people snip them off as soon as they
Actually, I'm going to do it just for ease. Snip them off because you're going to put a little drop of glue on top of each knot. And when I mean a little drop of glue, I mean like the tiniest drop of glue imaginable. And you don't want to over tighten them because it'll push the beads down. So once you push it, kind of flatten your beads out and make sure that they're not overlapping each other, because that will happen. So I am going to go ahead and snip these off so that they stay out of the way and you can properly see what I'm doing. But I normally don't cut those off until after I've glued the knots, because I get paranoid that my whole project is going to fall apart. But so far, that has not happened. So now we're going to go to the next two. I'm going to do one more so you can see it. Go under once. Pull. If you do leave strings, make sure they don't go under your knot. And if they do, make sure you pull them out. Or else that will, there we go. That will make the knot not as flush with the bracelet. So then you go, and you go under once, boom, and you go under twice, boom, pull, slip, oh no, and there it goes. See, the knot will like fold over on itself if you don't pull slow enough. And when that happens, you just have to even out the string before you pull it all the way down. And there we go. I highly recommend getting a pair of these little snips because you can get this tip into a lot of tiny, tight spaces. Right, and then I am going to restart the video once I have all. So if you have an uneven amount, which on this side we won't, but on this side we will. So we've got the extra line from the start of the bracelet. So what I do is I just add that in with the first line. So I'll grab the first two lines and the third line instead of the first two lines. Okay, try to push those down, which they're not going to. And then, yeah, this part is the most annoying part. And you want to, with the first two lines, make your regular knot. And then make your fisherman's knot. No, don't turn on heater. It got super cold last night, so I had to turn the heat back on. Go under once. I'm going to pull it down a little bit just because all these strings are getting super annoying. And then under twice. And then pull until it's at the bottom. Alright. And then you'll have an even amount from here on out, so you don't have to worry about doing that again. Alright, so I'm going to finish the rest of these because it can be super time consuming and I don't want you to have to watch an hour of just me folding knots. So once we're done folding all the knots, I'll come right back. Alright, so we've got all of our ends
tied. I clip them down. I do leave a little bit of string because, like I said, I'm constantly paranoid that my stuff's just going to unravel and fall apart. But we're going to hide these so you won't even see them. But, so what I'm going to do is get out my super glue. I use Gorilla brand. And I don't like to just put it down and start going because it comes out kind of fast. So I will get it. I've got a piece of tape here for just this occasion. I'll get it to where it's coming out. Oh gosh, it's coming out too fast. It's supposed to come out very slowly, like that. And then I will just dab it on each little knot. You don't want too much on there because then it becomes hard to get inside the little end piece. Well, that came out very, very strong. So we are going to wipe the rest of that off just as soon as I get this cap on. And what am I going to wipe it on? I'm going to wipe it right here because that I can clean up later. Don't want too much glue on there. So then I will generally drape this across something just to make sure the ends aren't physically touching anything. That way they can dry. And then as soon as it is done drying, we'll come back and finish it all up. Good evening, wonderful Catherine. A lot more time has passed than just a couple of minutes. But it is completely dry now. And after it's dried, you can go through. Let me get my good glasses on and get my hair back. Alright. Good glasses on. Well, I mean, they're both good glasses, but those are my everything glasses, and these are my up close work glasses. Alright, so after it dries, you can go through. I hope you can hear me okay. I haven't really tested any of these videos, but you can go through and snip the tiny end pieces. Yeah. You can go through and snip these tiny little end pieces off. Don't go all the way down, but you can snip it a lot closer down to the knot. And it doesn't have to be perfect because, like I said, you're gonna hide it. I was actually looking through one of the other companies that I used to buy beads from, but I realized that Jewelry Warehouse was so much cheaper. They're the ones, though, that I get my silver, my sterling silver wire findings, jump rings, eye pins, anything sterling silver I need. I get through there because they have cheaper prices that way, whereas Jewelry Warehouse has cheaper actual bead prices. Alright, so that should be good. And we can move this guy over here. I haven't even put my beads away yet, but I wanted to show you because I have bought, if you have beads
down on your actual this, then this guy is really good for scooping beads up. And then like bigger beads if you need to. It's got a bigger pair of tweezers you can use. But this little scooper guy works really well on fabrics, scooping up those beads. But since I keep mine in my little, like I said, they make bead boxes that you can buy for projects, but it's just an unnecessary expense in my opinion. That's where I put all of my excess super glue earlier. It like bubbled up. It looks weird, but fun. It also, I'll show you, leaked. And there is, hold on, how do I work this? There we go. It leaked and made this weird lumpy thing on my sheet, and I don't know that that's ever going to come off. Probably going to have to cut that out, but anyway, since I use this, and they have the, why does it have like a weird dark line in it? Well, don't love that, but anyway, try to get it. Since it's these little concave, super slippery surface, I actually use the cap that comes on top of the beads, and just my finger, and no, that's not going to work that well. Well, I actually haven't tried this yet. I figured it would work really well, but yeah, oh my gosh, it's so slippery that they just push up and away. Oh, and there's some kind of weird static electricity thing going on with this because my beads keep like jumping around. Okay, so I'll put them up later. That'll be fun. Oh, well, you can push them down with your finger, and generally they'll stick. I did just get out of the shower, and they're not sticking at all. Alright, so sound like I know what I'm doing. I'll put those up later. I'll figure something out. I'm pretty nifty. Ew, you know what? You know what I'm gonna do? Little paper scooper, maybe? It might work. Let's see. Let's find out together. Oh yeah, that's working nice. Alright. Cuddly, roll on. Alright, so get them on the little paper scooper. Boom, boom, boom. Sometimes you have to be creative with what's around you. Alright, but I won't go through all of that. Don't knock the toilet paper down. Alright, so, okay. We've got our bracelet. We've got our end thingies. This is one kind you can get. I think I showed this to you earlier, but it's open on one side. You will want your needle nose pliers so that you can just pull it open, be very gentle, just make sure it's open all the way. But this is just, I found in the that's what I was going to say earlier, in the jewelry supply magazine that I get, Fire Mountain jewelry supply, they have a new way to end these, and I'm going to get a couple. They're expensive though. It's like $11 for one set of these, but they're sterling silver all the way through. These are stainless steel. But anyway, once I get those and check those out, they look a lot cooler. I'll let you know. So it's closed on one end, and you open it all the way on the other end. And then you take your work, and there is an end on the bottom that's open. And on the open side, you're going to line that bottom line up with underneath the first row of beads. And sometimes you do have to wiggle it. Sorry, I have cotton all over my fingernails because I was just cleaning something earlier and it pulled some of my fingernail polish off, so I've got to redo those. Sorry, my nails look gross. But, it's just not that bright. Or maybe I need to get new glasses again. But once you work it under there, it'll slide. And sometimes you gotta wiggle it and work those little lines in there so they shove all the way in. And a lot of people will throw a dab of super glue in right there. But I don't really find it necessary. If you want to, you can. But then you take your little needle nose pliers, pull it down, and don't let your beadwork go back out of it. And close. Why are you being a bitch? Alright, finish closing it with my finger. And there is your first end. I'm sorry that this video is such crap. There we go, first end. So you're going to do the same thing with the other end. Get it lined up underneath that first bead, and then wiggle it, move the beads around, get those pieces of string in there all the way, and then you're gonna close it. Alright. Just gonna tighten that up a skosh. Alright. Probably not a bad idea to do this one too. Alright. So now you got your little empty jobs on your bracelet. There's your indie jobs. I'm sorry, I'm not great at this positioning and shit. But there you go. Alright, so next step. You're going to, what's the little guy for? Why do I have two over here? Well, now I'm trying to figure out what I was going to do here. I like to have a big jump ring for the, shit, this is sterling silver. I can't put this on here. I can't have everything else be stainless steel and put a sterling silver clasp on it. Damn it, I gotta go back to the drawing board there too. I didn't realize that this was silver. Alright, so that means so is that one. Oh, that sucks because that one's already on. That one's already on a jump ring. That would have been perfect. Alright, well, I've got the black one. That's not gonna look good. No, that one looks sterling silver. Or, stainless steel. Maybe it's not.
I don't think, I wouldn't have put any of my sterling in here. Because this is all my stainless. Yeah. No, I think we're good to go there. Sorry. What do we have going on there? Oh, good gracious. There's so much. Alright. Okay. So, boomity boom boom. I've already got a jump ring on this one. So, I guess we're going to put 2 big jump rings on that side. One that way, one that way. You're going to want the one going through this way, and then the one that's going to lay flat so that your clasp will angle that way when it's connecting. And you're going to want to put 2 jump rings on this end as well, or more. You can put as many as you want, but I think I'm going to just put 2 and make this a little person's bracelet, a little tiny wristed person. I don't understand why I had the smaller ones out though. What was my purpose for those? It would look stupid to have the 2 small ones lead out into the big ones. And it wouldn't be conducive to have it end with the 2 small ones. So I don't know what was going on there. I am going to go ahead and put those up. Alright. OBKB. So this is where you're going to want your 2. You are going to open your jump ring and grab one end right on the side of the closing, and you grab the other side. I try not to open them too far. Try to only open them as far as I need them to go. That way they're easier to close. But put the one in, and then you can go ahead and throw that clasp on there, and then close her back up. And this is where, if you were good at soldering, that would really come in handy, because if you could put a tiny piece of solder right there, that would be perfect. However, I've never had my jump rings open on me, so as long as you get it closed exactly where it's supposed to close, as you can see there, and then I'm just gonna kind of reinforce it by gently squeezing on the sides. If you push too hard, it'll misshape the circle. Alright, and then your clasp side is good to go. So then you're going to add, and I've already got these hooked together for ease. I don't have these glued, do I? No, okay. Well, actually, it looks like I did, but it didn't matter. Because on stainless steel, glue will just peel right off. So, open this guy. Oh, unless you scratch the surface. If you use something to make the surface of the stainless steel rough, then the glue will take to it. I don't know why that is, but that's how that works. Something to do with, I don't know. Alright, so, and then we're gonna get this bad boy. My hands are already starting to not want to work with me. Give me just a second. Alright. And then grab that and close it up. When you close, you always want to push it a little past. And then for some reason it just falls back into place exactly where it should be. If you don't push it a little past as you're trying to close it though, it won't close all the way. point, and then push the sides together. And there is your finished bracelet. Dog fur. And then just take this guy, lobster claw. They're to me they're a lot easier to work than the small round ones. So then you take this guy, open them up. If you buy these from like a warehouse or a jewelry supply company, a lot of times the very first time you try to open it, it's gonna be hard to open. But you just have to give it, like, put a little elbow grease behind it, and then after that it will open very easily, but not too easily. So, sorry, again, my fingers are already not wanting to work with me. And you take this guy and you connect them, and then boom, you got your bracelet. And it's beautiful. Oh, jeez. And there you go. I wish... Hey there. I wish that I had made it big enough to go on my wrist. Look at this tiny little thing. Like, what the hell? It's for a baby. I don't know what I was thinking. But somewhere, some baby's gonna be happy. Gotta find somebody with a baby. Or a little girl that likes little tiny bracelets. I don't know. I'll find something to do with it. I always do. So there's this guy that I buy pins for. This is a little extra add-on. His name is John Dewey, and he makes little Grateful Dead pins. And we buy them. They're between 20 and 30 bucks each. They're very well made, steel. Each one is numbered. He makes them in sets of like 100. This one's, wow, this one was only 40. And this one's number 14 out of 40. Well, when we got it, when we were taking the back, and this is the first time it's ever happened, and I have a bunch of his pins. When we were taking the pin backs off, you can see the bottom sticky part is still on there. The top one popped right off. Granted, you know, Pete was having a hard time getting the backing off, so he was putting some muscle behind it. But he ended up sending us a replacement. He didn't have any of the blues left, but he was making a green set, so he sent us one of the green ones Pete's got in the room. But I was thinking about like grinding the post off or cutting it off or something, and trying to wrap it with some of my not my stainless, or not my sterling silver wire, because that's just expensive. The TV fucked me up for a second. I thought somebody was walking behind me. Fucking A. Anyway, I was thinking about wrapping it and like maybe hanging it in the car or something, or making a necklace out of it. But I told John, I was like, you know, whatever I decide to do with it, I'll take a picture and send it in to you. So yeah, be on the lookout for that. I got lots of things that I have projects for. That's, yeah. Yep. My end caps are too short for this. So I've already cut all the lines, and now I don't know what to do with it. If I had kept the lines on, if I had kept the lines on, then I perhaps could have like wrapped leather over the lines, like glued them into leather or something, and made ends that way. But I don't know what to do with it now. And it's a great length. I didn't even need that. I didn't even need that much. Like, just, it's so pretty. Like, I want to be wearing
this when I go to the show in July. I don't think it's going to happen though. Pete did get me these pretty little ear cuffs to wear though. Get it fixed. Isn't that pretty? I like them. I'm gonna wear them to the show. Let me go on each side. I'm gonna feel like a Vulcan. For real, I'm gonna feel like a Vulcan. Oh. Why aren't you going on? Am I doing something wrong? There we go. There we go. Isn't that pretty? I like them. But yeah. So those are my special occasion ear cuffs. I can't imagine just walking around wearing them in public, but they're so pretty. As soon as I saw them, I fell in love with them, and so he got them for me. I'm hoping that the metal doesn't affect my skin. I don't know what it's plated with, but I'm sure it's nothing great because they weren't that expensive. But still, they're so pretty. Alright, so I'm going to try to put this video together. I'm going to try to see if there's an app on this laptop that'll let me fuse all this stuff together and then upload it to YouTube, and then I'll send you a link, and I hope you enjoy this beaded bracelet tutorial. This is my outro music. So I'll see you next time. Catherine Face, I love you. You're the greatest.